was under pressure. Ministry never quits. I was trying to do better. July 2020 in the mountains of Tennessee with Hebrews from other hoods showing true brotherhood. Now it's August 1st and we just finished this fire lesson. Down to the rivers to go receive a fire blessing. Riding to the waters in a set apart motorcade. I can feel a human like chill between my shoulder blades. Old man need to be deaded. Hebrews standing on the shore, reflecting on the wrongs I've done before. Confessing that Yahuwah is the power, Yahusha is the
Shalom. Shalom to the brethren. And what up to everybody else? This is your Op, Brandon Lewis. And this is the Lunar Solar Shabbat Scripture Study, where we search the scriptures looking for ways to apply them to life that we might become perfect. Too long have we read a scripture here and a scripture there, creating whole doctrine, never knowing the fullness of the context of those scriptures, the fullness and the context of those chapters and those books. And we have ignorantly made them say things that they did not say, made them intend things that they did not intend. May we now read them in the fullness, the context that they were meant to be read in, and know what they were intended to teach us. May the Most High be with us as we read through His Word, as we place them in their proper context, the proper people in whom they were written about, and the proper time frames in which they were written about. This is the time of the rebuilding of the nation, not the rebuilding of temples made with men's hands, but the temples made with the hands and the ruach of the Creator of the heavens and the earth. May we be as we ought to be. May we know what we ought to know. May we have eyes that see. May we have ears that hear. May we build up what needs to be built up. And may we tear down what needs to be torn down. Come together in love, peace, and unity of the brethren, of the mind, and of the heart. In the name of the Son, of the Creator of the heavens and the earth. Shalom.
Hey man, it's about time for y'all to hit that like and that subscribe button. You've been around here soaking up all the game like a dry sponge in a wet puddle. You've been robbing your brother of his likes and his subscription. You don't want to comment. You don't want to hit the share button. You're selfish. You don't want to participate. Then you need to evacuate. Get on up out of here quick, fast, and in a hurry, because we don't need your kind. Now, for those of you that's going to do what's right, go ahead and get it then. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, comment, and sit back and relax. Let's get into these scripts. You dig?
All right, there we go. Shalom, shalom, shalom to the brethren. And what up to everybody else? This is Yahweh Brandon Lewis, and this is the Lunar Shabbat Scripture Study. So Shabbat Shalom to those of you that know about such things. All right, there we go. What up shalom, to those of you that don't? Now, of course, it wouldn't be normal if everything just went off without no problem. So had a little bit of some technical difficulties. I don't know if it was my end, the internet, or the app, or what, but here we are. You know what I'm saying? We're in the building. And today we're going to be talking about obedience slash mercy is better than sacrifice. We're going to be reading out of the book of Hosea, chapter 6, Matthew, chapter 9, Micah, chapter 6, and 1 Samuel, chapter 15. All praises to the Most High. So I wanted to speak on that because, in this age of prosperity preaching and um, just Christian zeal movement, we want to know about obedience. We want to know about obedience to what? We want to know about context, right? Because people could say things. And when I say context, I mean context as to what is written and what it's written about. We can expound, right? We could, take things of then and apply it to now. But I always want to go back to the original, right? Because when the script says obedience, that means to follow command. What's the command? Right? That's the command. I'm also being joined today by my wife, who is not on location, Uriah Yasharal Yahu. In the background is our sons, Nathan and Nakum Yahuda. But anyway, she's gonna be in the background. If she got anything to say, she's gonna be able to come up and say what she gotta say or ask what she gotta ask. You got something to say?
Nana, I was just gonna say shalom.
Nana.
Yeah.
Nana. Hey, Dad. Nana. Mom.
That's my Nakum Yah with the aggressiveness. He's quite the aggressive child. But anyway, let's get right on into it, man. Let's start off with the first Samuel, right? The first Samuel is really where it starts to get down, where it really starts to go down at. So let's get into it. First Samuel, I mean, yeah, First Samuel is dealing with um King Saul, King Saul and Prophet Samuel, right? Now, Samuel was told to do something. Samuel and Saul were both told to do something. Saul was told to go against a certain army, fight them, unalive all of them and their animals, unalive all of them and their animals, and therefore following out the instructions of the Creator. Samuel was told to go and offer an offering. Um, these are two things in which Saul kind of got out the way on. But we're gonna get right into it. Hold on 1 second. I don't like how this is trying to share this. Nope. I don't like it. No, it's cause you in here. Oh, babe. Let me hide you. Let me hide you. As you know, it's always a deal trying to get this thing figured out. We got it better than most. You better believe it. We definitely got it better than most. Alrighty. Uh, First Samuel. We might even start at 15 though. Just being on the real. Just being on the real about it. We might go to 14. Let's just start at 15 then. Okay. First Samuel, chapter 15. Samuel said to Saul, "The master sent me to appoint you king over his people Israel. Now, therefore, listen to the words of the master." See, commands are coming because when the Most High speaks, he speaks instruction or he speaks judgment. It is really usually not anything outside of that. Even his judgment is instruction. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, thus says the master of hosts, I will punish the Amalekites. This is judgment. I will punish the Amalekites for what they did in opposing the Israelites when they came out of Egypt. He ain't forgot. This has been, at this point, this has been about a good three to 500 years, if I ain't mistaken. Because I think the Israelites with the time of the judges was like 300 to 400. So he ain't forgot though. You know what I'm talking about? He ain't forgot about it. Now go and attack Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have. Do not spare them. This is the instruction, right? When he said, obedience better than sacrifice. And this is the thing. In certain instances, he has asked for sacrifices. let's just not act like sacrifices have not been asked for or required. Okay, they have been required. But they're required as a part of instruction, usually amongst multiple instructions. So don't disobey most of my instructions and only keep a few. You'll keep the sacrifice part because that's more doable to you. But when I tell you to do something you think is grievous, you don't want to do that. That's why he would say, I didn't ask for sacrifice. I mainly asked for you to follow my instructions. Even if sacrifice was included in that instructions, you got to follow them all. This is a big part of this lesson about doing it all. Okay? The obedience to it all is better than whatever you choose to pick out of a list of instructions and say, I do this though. So I do this. I sacrificed myself. I sacrificed my time, my money, my energy to do this. But this is the flip side of it though. You didn't do that. Okay? I do this. I know I didn't do that. I sacrificed to do this. Even though I didn't keep the instructions to do that. So this is what he's trying to let you know. It's better for you to keep all my instructions than to think yourself proud that you kept one or two. And this is what Saul is about to find out. Okay? He's about to find it and he's not going to like it. Okay? It's about to get real bad. This is the key point of this lesson. It's about doing the whole thing. If you can't keep the whole thing, then it's not an instruction. Not from the Most High, it ain't. It's not an instruction any longer. There's no requirement. What it said, where there is no law, there is no requirement. I mean, where there is no law, there is no sin. If you can't do it, he's not going to tell you to do it. Plain and simple. Thus says the master of hosts, I will punish the Amalekites for what they did in opposing the Israelites when they came up out of Egypt. Now go and attack Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have. Do not spare them, but kill both man and woman, child and infant, ox and sheep, camel and donkey. Let's take a look at these instructions. It's multiple instructions in one sentence. This is one sentence full of several instructions. His first order of business is to do what? First, go. Okay? Get moving. Get moving where? Towards the Amalekites. And then after you go, after you get to them, attack them. Okay? Not only should you attack them, but after you attack them, utterly destroy all that they have. So that's 1, 2, 3 instructions that you must follow. Next, do not spare them. Some would say this is the same thing as utterly destroy. Well, just in case you didn't quite get it, and just in case you didn't quite get it, and just in case you might have thought you had some leeway out, like, well, maybe not this, maybe not that. He said, do not spare them. Okay? Here's another instruction. But kill both, in case you got any kind of confusion. This is what an Aleph do. An Aleph, a strong leader, right? Any man, you're supposed to have these same characteristics, okay? You're supposed to be any husband, any father, any leader of any sort, a bishop, a deacon, a pastor, football coach, whatever you feign yourself to be of leadership, you got to have the same characteristics of the highest Aleph. Okay, so when he give instruction, he give it completely. Okay, it ain't no doubts about it. It ain't nothing left out. Just in case you was wondering, kill both man and woman. Okay, was it not the women, God? I know you don't mean the women. Oh yes, both man and woman. Okay, you can't have no war brides. You can't have no servants. You can't get nothing out of this batch. I want you to get it all out. And just in case you said, well, man and women, I know you ain't talking about the children. He said, yes, child. What? 5, 6, 12. Yeah, get them too. And just in case you was wondering about, I just know you're not talking about the babies. The literal babies? Oh, yes. Infant, child, and infant. Okay, get it all. Okay, we're talking about obedience. And we're talking about instruction that came from the Most High. Oh, man, my internet is acting a little wanky. But the instruction of do this and do it all. And don't do some of it and think I'm going to be happy with that. That's what the whole thing about I have not desired sacrifice. Because I have told you to sacrifice. But what I didn't tell you to do is to not do everything else I told you to do. Your sacrifice ain't no good to me. If you don't do the rest of what I said, this is what I talk to my lovely wife about all the time, about my instructions. And this is why I speak to her the way I speak to her, because I get it from the scriptures. And I want her to understand that this can be dangerous when you play with the structure. Not so much me as being Brandon Lewis, but me as being the Aleph, me as being the Ish, me as being the leader of our household and making certain instructions and certain decrees. I'm doing it in the authority of the office. Not because of me, but because this is how it goes. So every instruction, every order I give, I have to make sure that it's in alignment. That's why it's certain things I say and it's certain things I decree. There's a difference, right? And it's because when you do such things, it follows in line of a pattern of leadership, that the origin of the leadership is the Most High. So if I tell you something and I give you a list of things to do, I fully intend to get the whole list. Okay, I don't want part of the list. I want it all. And you, as being one given that list for a reason and in an order of an office, when you don't follow it, you become just like Saul. You become just like everybody else, a sinner in the regards of disobeying of the instruction. Now, you might have good reasons for why you think it's okay to not follow all these instructions. As we're going to read, Saul had good reasons. He had some good reasons. Good reasons. But you know what? Them reasons didn't mean a damn thing to the one that gave them. So I don't care about what you thought. I told you to be just like this. This line of instruction. Did I give you any kind of leeway in this? Did I say, kill the child and the infant, but keep the ox and the sheep? Keep the best ox and the best sheep and sacrifice them to me. Did I tell you to do that? No, I told you to kill them all. I told you don't save nothing. Don't save no man. Don't save no woman. Don't save no child. Kill everything moving. I didn't say keep nothing. Whatever reason you got of that, but you see, but cause I just wanted to, you in disobedience. And we've been removed from this. This is why our elders understood a lot of this, man. Growing up in the South, if you disobey instructions coming from your grandparents or your great-great-grandparents, boy, they go off on you. I'm talking about put some pain to you, hit you with something big and painful. You be like, why you do like that? Because I told you do this and you did that. They understood instruction very, very well. They understood commandment very, very well. It was always the worldly ones that went off and did worldly things. But the righteous one that really heard the word and really believed it, them was the ones that was always a constant. Them was the ones that was always looked at as, man, you doing too much. Man, it ain't that serious. Man, it ain't, because they followed instruction. There's only two ways, good and evil. What is better, to be one that follows instruction and order and discipline, or one that don't? One who's undisciplined, one that's willy-nilly, one that just do whatever. And when it comes to doctrine, when it comes to religion, when it comes to modern day things, a lot of that is that new age. You know what they said? That's that old stuff. That's that Old Testament. See, now we in the grace of Yahusha. We in the grace of Jesus. You're sounding kind of like Saul. You sound kind of like you done found a way up out of some instruction. You done found a way to do what you want to do, how you want to do it, and you got good reasons for it. Well, let's see how that went. Let's see how that went. Now go and attack Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have. Do not spare them, but kill both man and woman, child and infant, ox and sheep, camel and donkey. So Saul summoned the people and numbered them in Talaim, 200,000 foot soldiers, 10,000 soldiers of Yehuda. Saul came to the city of the Amalekites and lay in wait in the valley. You know what's crazy about that? 200,000 foot soldiers, 10,000 soldiers of Yehuda. I wonder why it specified Yehuda. Now Yehuda is known to be like the They like the special forces of the, of the armies and whatnot. They like the Western people. They like the Delta Force. It's cool for everybody else to be Rangers and be Navy SEALs and be all that. But when it comes to the Delta Force, you gotta kind of sit in the back. Like I said, don't sit in places too high for you because when the right one comes, you're gonna be embarrassed. Okay, that's what Yehuda was like. Saul came to the city of the Amalekites and lay in wait in the valley. So he's following some instructions. See, this is gonna be Saul's argument. You told me go. I'm going. Told me attack the Amalekites. I'm going to attack them now. I'm going to do it. Saul is a man of war. He's about that life. Saul came to the city of the Amalekites and lay in wait in the valley. Saul said to the Kenites, go, leave, withdraw from among the Amalekites, or I will destroy you with them. Now, I'm not entirely sure about this Kenite thing. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know who these Kenites is. But let's give it a quick look, see real quick for some context. This is a study. This is a study. Kenites were a tribe in the ancient Levant, mentioned in the Hebrew Bible as having settled in the Negev area near Arad. They were related to Moses' father-in-law, Jethro, a Midianite. Okay, so the Kenites were like cousins to the Midianites. So this is why he would show some kind of favor to them because they have a long-standing bond with the Midianites, going all the way back to the time of Moses. The Canaanites ain't a part of his instructions. They're told to kill the Amalekites, not the Canaanites. Okay, go, leave, withdraw from among the Amalekites, or I will destroy you with them. For you showed kindness to all our people. Why are they attacking the Amalekites? They're attacking the Amalekites. Why? Because they did not show kindness. They did not show kindness to the people of Israel when they came up out of Egypt. But the Kenites did. Okay? This is why they'll find quote unquote mercy for the kindness that they showed in the day of travail of Yasharah, right? So the Kenites withdrew from the Amalekites. That's good. They followed instructions, got on up out of there. You don't want to get caught in between the strong hand of the master, right? Or the strong hand of the quote unquote Lord. Saul defeated the Amalekites from Hivalah as far as Shur, which is east of Egypt. He took King Agag of the Amalekites alive, but utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. So look at this. Look at this. Apparently, when he said all the people, apparently he has followed the instructions concerning killing the men and killing children. He has followed this. So this is where we get into a thing of, I did what you told me to do. What you mean, Lord? Why you upset with me? This is what it said. My wife just said this a couple times when I had a problem about certain things. She'd be like, but I did this, that, and the third. What is the issue? Oh, it's an issue. Because certain instructions I put in there. That part ain't did though. That part ain't been done. I did A, C, D, and F. E. I did them. But you left out B though. And I wanted them all. Did they just skip me? And this is where we get, because he didn't win. This was probably a journey he had to go to. He didn't grieve himself with the journey. He didn't grieve himself with putting his life in harm's way against the Amalekites. he probably didn't grieved himself in having to kill women and children. Said, but I did this. I sacrificed myself for you. That's what they're going to say, Lord, Lord. Have we not done great things in your name? No, we're going to say, I never knew you. You know why I never knew you? Because you ain't never did what I told you to do. And if you ain't did it completely, you ain't did it. And this is the thing. This is what we all got to make sure we in good standing with. Are we doing exactly what he told us to do? In the context of what the book say, in the context of his instruction to us about certain things in our daily life, how are we doing it? Are we holding all of our offices how we supposed to hold them? Because all this stuff about Israel only and all this stuff, you see the Kenites found quote unquote mercy, and they were the children of Israel. But because they showed a kindness, because they showed obedience, they found quote unquote mercy. But what's different is you got people claiming stuff. You got people claiming to be sons, claiming to be in a covenant. The Kenites ain't claiming to be in no covenant. Now with the Most High, they came into a covenant with the Israelites. We ain't gonna hurt y'all. We gonna be friendly to y'all. Boom, covenant. You claiming to have a covenant with the Most High, with the Father, with the Son, and the quote unquote Holy Ghost. You claiming to have a covenant with all these people. You got to follow covenant instructions. Okay? You got to follow covenant instructions. When you come to a job, you got to follow the same instruction as a person that's been there 50 years. Okay? They signed a certain contract that said, I will do or I won't do. You got to follow them same instructions. You don't get to come in under no new rules. Now, some things get grandfathered in. Certain protections, certain allowances get grandfathered in that you don't qualify for. Okay? You don't qualify for this because you ain't been here since back then. Okay? But at the end of the day, you still got to follow similar, if not all, of the rules that the person that's been there got to follow. So if you want to come in as this Gentile, that's what people want to claim all the time. They want to claim Gentile. But you want to be like one that's homeborn. You want to share in the same gifts and the same inheritance as the homeborn. You ain't going to believe what you got to do. You don't believe what you got to do. You got to share in the same obedience as the homeborn. Okay, let's get back into it. He took King Agag of the Amalekites alive, but utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. Saul and the people spared Agag and the best of the sheep and of the cattle and of the fatlings and the lambs and all that was valuable, and would not utterly destroy them. All that was despised and worthless, they utterly destroyed. So hold on, Saul. Ooh-wee. Now we get, up until now, he's been following instructions. Now, granted, he's supposed to kill King Agag as well, okay? It says he saved him alive. He's supposed to kill him, okay, by the way. Which, spoiler alert, King Agag ain't gonna make it. He ain't gonna make it. But the problem is that you went against the instructions. Because if you go up here, he was instructed, go and attack the Amalekites, utterly destroy all that they have, and do it. Do not spare them. Okay. What am I supposed to kill, Lord? Ox, sheep, camel, and donkey. Okay, in case you need specific instructions. That's what you do. So then you come on down here to 9, and it tells you Saul and the people spared Agag, spared the king. You're supposed to kill everything moving in Amalickiah. Okay. and the best of the sheep and of the cattle and of the fatlings and the lambs and all that was valuable, and would not utterly destroy them. But okay, it don't say but. I'm saying but all that was despised and worthless, they utterly destroyed. So he said, we kill sheep and camels and lambs and stuff. We killed them. Kept some. I don't talk about that part. I don't talk about that part. That's what a disobedience is at. See, somebody tell you they part of the story about all the good stuff, about all the instructions that they followed, but they was lacking something. Then the word of the Adon, of the master, came to Samuel. It says, I regret that I made Saul king, for he has turned back from following me and has not carried out my commands. See, this term carried out, it means completion. Okay? You can't get 100% if you don't complete. Any Hold on, I feel like my mic ain't right now. Anything else is a if. Okay, you're on point. Anything else is an if when it comes to not completing the commands or the instructions. So now, Samuel, who is usually a happy-go-lucky kind of a fellow, it says he was angry when he found out. Because the Most High servants get very, very passionate about their father. They get very, very compassionate about him because usually these are the people that truly understands the level of kindness, the level of quote-unquote mercy that the father has and displays. So they get offended when others offend him. They get upset. They get angry. But it said, the zeal for thy house has eaten me up. Okay? This is what happens. The people that do follow instructions, they get upset. They get angry against those that don't. Now, it's a level of compassion that you might have for some, but Saul know better. See, that's the thing about it. Saul know better. Saul ain't no average Joe. Samuel was angry and carried out and cried out to the master all night. Saul rose early in the rising in the Bokar to meet Saul. And Samuel was told Saul went to Carmel where he set up a monument for himself. Okay. A monument for who? For himself. He feeling himself. I beat the Amalekites. Yeah. I did it. Who did it? Me. That's who. Hmm? And what he like? Who can I trust? Huh? Who can I trust? That's how he feeling. He feeling like Tony Montana. Gonna get him in trouble. And on returning, he passed on down to Gilgal. When Samuel came to Saul, Saul said to him, may you be baruched by the master. Hey, listen, man, this man knows he's in trouble. He knows he's in trouble. He thinks flatteries and things is going to get him out of it. You think the word that Samuel got for you, you know he done heard something. Because prophets be out the way. You don't really hear stories about prophets just hanging around with the people on some regular type time. You hear about prophets coming and going. Okay? They coming from having a revelation that they're coming to give, or they leaving from pronouncing a judgment on a thing and they going back to wherever they was at. Okay? That's usually how it goes with them. They coming and going. Okay, they dropping off and letting go. Okay, that's just how they work. So when Saul come up, I mean when Samuel come up, you already know something ain't right. He either coming to give quote unquote blessings, or he coming to give judgment. And this is the thing about it. You know you ain't followed these instructions. You know you ain't done it. You hoping that because you followed most of them, you hoping you gonna get some good out of it. But this is the thing. This is what we gotta understand. What is that? The end thereof, the wages of sin. What is the end thereof is death. What are you gonna get? And may you be baruched by the master. I have carried out the command of the master. Ooh-wee. Let's find out. But Samuel said, what then is this bleating of sheep in my ears and the lowing of cattle that I hear? See, man, them prophets be some wise dudes. He ain't gonna go off and, just accuse them right off and, get all off in him, right? Which is what a lot of us would do, especially considering the fact he was upset about what Saul did. You got to realize you're talking to a king, okay? Granted, you're a prophet and all this, but I could get your head took off your shoulders if I wanted. Carnally. Now, granted, Samuel has a spiritual protection, but Saul ain't caring about all that at the moment. Okay, so you got to watch how you talk to him, which he did. Okay, he checked himself. What is the bleating of sheep in my ears and the lowing of cattle that I hear? I hear animals. Animals supposed to be dead. Okay, Saul said, they have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep and the cattle. What they spared them for? Why did I break the instructions of the Most High? Huh? To sacrifice to the Most High, but the rest we have utterly destroyed. He said, I kept the best of them. You know what the Most High said? Bring me animals without spot or blemish. He said, I don't want nothing but the best. Saul said, I brought you the best. I'm following your instructions about offering you the best sacrifices. And this is why you can't be in Lululand. Okay? Wives, husbands, children. Okay? You can't be in Lululand about why it's okay to not do what you've been instructed to do. Or to do it half-assed. Or to do it completely different from what you've been instructed. This is what Saul has done. And you can't mix and blend. You can't mix and blend. If anything, you're mixing and blending. Whatever you go to outside out of support the keeping of the instruction, it shouldn't make it okay for you to break them. This is what me and my brother, me and other brothers, this is what we do with scripture. We find the marrying and the agreement of concepts. If it don't agree, if it don't mesh, then it don't go. If it don't mesh, it don't go. This is what you gotta understand. A lot of you just putting stuff together because it sounds good over here. But this is what you don't understand. Let me see my camera. I can't see it good. This is what you don't understand. You said, it sounds good over here. And over on this section, let's just say New Testament or whatever. It got some over here, some over there, some over there. And they go good or seemingly go good. But this is what you got to understand. Both have to add up. You got to go over here to the old and get the same ones over here, and they go together. Oh, I'm from the Old Testament. I'm from the New Testament. Oh, you look like me. Oh, I look like you. Oh, let's be together. And that's how it go. Hold on, man. I be having So yeah, it all got to go together, brethren. It all got to go. There we go. It all got to go. It all have to mesh together. And that's where you get the sense from, right? So if it don't fit, you must quit, right? That's what it's all about. But it said, for the people spared the best of the sheep and the cattle to sacrifice to the Most High, but the rest we have utterly destroyed. Then Samuel said to Saul, stop! Stop your talking. Because you going to keep on talking about how it's okay for you to do what you did. So stop it. Shut your mouth. I've been nice. I've been trying to respect you as a king and all this other stuff. But now hear what thus says the mighty master, okay? Stop. I will tell you what the master said to me last night. Saul said, speak. Talk to me. What do you say? Samuel said, though you are little in your own eyes, and this is the thing about it too. Saul was known to be like modest. Saul didn't want to be king. When they was looking for Saul to make him king, he hid. So this is another argument a person would have. I'm modest. I don't boast. I don't brag. I just lay back. I don't do too much. I just be chilling. I just love the Lord. I just want to serve him. He told me to go, I went. He told me to kill, I killed. But hold on now. Though you are little in your own eyes, are you not the head of the tribes of Israel? The master anointed you king over Israel. And this is what we got to understand too about the office, about the responsibility. Some people placed in places that they might not have wanted, but because it was a calling of them to be there, they stepped into it. Saul stepped into the office of a king. You might have stepped into the office of a husband, stepped into the office of a father, stepped into the office of a pastor, stepped into the office of a coach, of a supervisor, of whatever your office might be. Although you didn't want it, you didn't want the glory. You just wanted to do the right thing. But when you step into this thing, it's instructions, it's rules and guidelines. There's a movie called ATL. And there was a young man that wanted to sell dope. And the drug dealer came to give him the dope. And before he gave him the dope, he said, boy, you know what this is, don't you? He said, what? He said, it's grown man business. Now, he didn't go into a long list of explaining exactly what grown man business was, but it was a stark warning that this ain't for children. This ain't going to be children consequences. It's going to be grown man consequences. And this is quite like what stepping into these offices is. This is grown man business. You might say, I'm a woman. It's like he said, I'm just a child. Okay, you be a woman, you be a child. But when you come over here, and this is grown man business. He said, well, I was a child. I didn't understand what grown man business meant. I just was like, okay, I want to be grown too. Okay, yeah. Just like women. I want to be a pastor. I want to be a leader of, I want authority over men. Okay. Yeah. I mean, come with that. It's grown man. I want to be a wife. Man or grown woman in this instance. Okay, we got to keep it real. This is grown woman business. This ain't little girl, quit, run away. No, it's consequences behind this. You can get killed. You can get judged, spiritually judged, damnationally judged behind what you do and don't do in this thing right here. Husbandry, same thing. Pastor, bishop, leadership, same thing. Grown man business. What he said? the Lord, the Master, has anointed you king over Israel, man. Listen, I know about you. I know about your modesty. I know about your good heart and what you meant well, all this old stuff. This is grown man business. And you took it. If you really didn't want it, you really ain't have to take it, to be honest. You caved in. You caved in. Just like the COVID shot. A lot of you didn't want it. So, but if I don't take it, they're going to fire me. If I don't take it, they're going to, I can't go to work. And if I can't go to work, I'm going to lose my job. You caved. You caved in. So you found good reasons to do bad things. Grown man business. Okay? This is what Saul found out. 18. The master sent you on a mission and said, go, utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they are consumed. Why then did you not obey the voice of the master? Why did you swoop down on the spoil and do what was evil? See, this is what we got to understand here. Evil in the sight of the master. You think it's just small. You think it's just small to kind of, it's just a little bit of disobedience in there. Just a little bit. That man said, this is evil. This is devilish. You know what it means? To be a devil, to be a Satan, a Hasatan, that means an adversary. That means you in the way of what I'm trying to do. Most High was trying to make a statement with the destruction of the Amalekites, and you in the way because you want to keep this, you want to keep the king, you want to keep the choice animals. You in the way. What does it mean to be in the way of the Most High? Don't he got to get you out the way? Surely, don't he got to get you out the way? And now, don't he have to make an example out of you? I wanted to make the example out of the Amalekites, but since you want to be in the way, you want to not do as instructed. First of all, I could have used you as a vessel for honor. You would have been the weapon of my example that I was going to set against them. You could have been the weapon. Now you're going to be the lesson on top of the lesson. Okay, you're going to be the lesson on top of this. Not only should what the Amalekites did, you ought to know not to mess with me. But by what I'm going to do to Saul, you ought to know not to mess with me. Okay? What I did to Saul for what he didn't do with the Amalekites. this is what you're going to be. You either going to ride the wave or you're going to get crushed by it. And what determines your trip? The obedience. The obedience to the instruction. So let's all be obedient, shall we? Listen to what Saul say. Listen to the argument of a sinner. And if any of us be like Saul, man, listen, let's repent and let's do better going forward, right? You have this day before you good and evil. The right way, obedient, and evil, the wrong way, disobedient. Let's get on the good foot, if you would. Saul said to Samuel, I have obeyed the voice of the master. What you mean, Samuel? Just about idea what was evil in the sight of the Lord. Is you great? Let me tell you about me. Okay. Saul said to Samuel, I have obeyed the voice of the master. I have gone on the mission on which the master sent me. Let me tell you about King Saul. I ain't running your bumpers about what I don't do. Let me tell you what I did. But you see the confidence. You see the delusion. And this is the same delusion we have when we don't do what we're supposed to do, and we got reasons for why we didn't do it, or we don't even acknowledge the fact of what we didn't do. We want to talk about what we did. What you did ain't worth a damn if you didn't do it all. And this is what Paul was talking about. All that is within your power to do. Okay. If it say go to Israel 3 times a year and bring offerings to the high priest, if the high priest ain't there and the temple ain't there, is that still my instruction? Am I still obligated to that? When the Most High made it to where the temple wasn't there, He made it to where the priesthood wasn't there. Am I still supposed to keep them instructions? But if He told me don't eat pork, and it's well within my power to not eat pork, am I still required to follow that? So it's a thing of what's in your ability to do, whether it may seem grievous unto you or not. Of course, the sacrifices are done because the sacrifices were overseen by the priests. Real, true Levite priests with the knowledge and understanding of how to carry out these offerings that have the appropriate ways to carry out these sacrifices. He took all of that away. He took it away because it was all wicked from the root, from the bottom to the top. Not his instructions. No, his instructions weren't wicked. The people and the methods that the people began to use became wicked. They all became like Saul. They all did parts of what he said, but not all of what he said. So he said, you know what? I'm going to do this another way. And this way, in a lot of ways, it's going to be easier, but in a lot of ways, it's going to be harder. The harder ways is that back then, they had more of a carnal line of instruction. This came from so-and-so, and he been raised up and taught up by so-and-so and by so-and-so and by so-and-so. This is why I know it's true, because it came from here. Now, ooh-wee, you got to have you some quote-unquote faith. You got to believe off. Well, first of all, it's a combination of diligence. It's a combination of understanding, of wisdom, of the text in context, mixed with some trust of what you read and some revelation from the studying of what you read. This is what faith is. Okay, I don't know what the Christians is talking about. Just blind. I don't know. I ain't studied. I ain't did nothing. I just think. I mean, come on now. This is craziness. But this is what we have as a religion today. And this is why religion ain't worth a damn. Peter told you about true religion and what it is. And but anyway, we're not going into all that. So anyway, that's enough of that. I just want to show y'all the dynamic of instruction and the half-hearted following of it and the delusion of one that didn't keep instruction and how it brought judgment. This let me finish out what Saul said. It said, Saul said to Samuel, I have obeyed the voice of the master. I have gone on the mission on which the master sent me. I have brought Agag, the king of Amalek, and I have utterly people cattle, the best devoted to sacrifice to the master your power. Now, you see how Saul keeps saying the people. The people did it. This is the thing. You oversee the people. And you have the might that's been given to you by the Most High of consequence to you. You got to put the consequence down. Even if the people did this of their own doing, you supposed to jump in there and you supposed to put down Shalom, babe.
Shalom, babe. Sorry, my phone had died. But it's so crazy that you talking about a message like this because before we had got on the thing, I was doing my own little.
Hi, son.
I was doing my own little thing, and it's basically it was the ouch. That's basically a conclusion I got as far as like fulfilling and completion of a thing. So, ooh, I wanted to say that earlier when you was talking about Saul and how he basically cherry picked on following directions and thought it was going to be good enough.
Gooder.
I said good enough. I digress. Don't do me.
All right, that I am. Better to follow the instructions. So, uh, we're continuing on about Saul's reasoning behind not doing it. But the spoil the people took sheep and cattle, the best of the things devoted to destruction, to sacrifice to the master your power in Gilgal. And Saul said, has the master as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obedience? To the voice of the master? So you said, do you think you think he want them animals, them sacrifices, more than he want obedience? This is where the whole thing comes from, or part of the argument is about why we don't keep the law. Because he want obedience more than sacrifices. And a lot of people come away from that. A lot of people come away from that saying, you know, sacrifices don't mean nothing. And this is the whole thing about it. Sacrifices is a part of the obedience and the following of the instructions. You don't have to get it, you just have to do it. You ain't got to understand why, at least at the moment. You just need to do what I told you. But I just don't see why you can't, or why I can't, or why this just don't make no sense. Don't nobody care about what you thinking, son. Ma'am, you just need to do what I said. But why can't, and if I don't care about what you talking about. Do what I said. What did he say? Surely to obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed than the fat of ram. Whatever you want to try to add to why you're not following instructions, it really just gives more credit to why you ought to be punished for it. Because it's like, that ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. They ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I said, go do A, B, C, and D. And you said, the reason I didn't do C is this. Not that you couldn't do it. Not that there was something that it was impossible for you to do. But because you had a thought, you had a feeling contrary to my instruction. And that's why you didn't do it. This is the worst thing ever. Because when it comes to the instruction of going to Israel 3 times a year, to the temple, to Jerusalem, offering sacrifices that come with instructions, that come with people that I don't have access to, that comes with a place that I don't have access to or sovereignty over or sovereignty in, then that makes it impossible for me. We're not talking about a feeling. I feel like I shouldn't go because no, I can't keep the complete instruction. This is what me and my brother was talking about when it comes to the feast days. When it came to feast days, it come to the spirit of the feast. I just want to do something of what it's supposed to be. Y'all weren't doing it. Nobody in Israel had a more zeal to try to serve the Most High as it comes to these feasts than me and my brother. Now it's they wicked. They just went off. They just lost, man. No, we looked at these instructions. We looked at the text and seen that what we were told to do, we don't, we can't, we haven't, we won't be able to keep until he makes it to where we can keep it. Y'all niggas want to be like Saul and come up with all these reasons why it's okay not to do what he said. And you're delusional about it, just like he is. You got good reasons for not doing what you're supposed to do. I'm getting upset about it because it's my testimony. Okay, people been talking crazy about me. But a text like this is where we come from. This is where we coming from. Because we want to be the ones that follow it for real. Not half-ass and coming up with reasons of why it's half-ass. Because he didn't give room for half-assness. If there's ever room, he told you it was room. He'd say, if you can't do this, then do this. If you can't do that, then do that. If he ain't said it, then it ain't there. So anyway, back to the text. 23. For rebellion is no less a sin than divination, and stubbornness is like iniquity and idolatry. Hold on. Hold on now, feast keeper. That's not following the instructions. What is it? What? Hold on. What? Rebellion? Ooh, that's strong. That is strong. Rebellion is strong. Divination is strong. Stubbornness is strong. What? Idolatry? What? This is what your rebellion is like. This is what your refusal to follow instructions is like. This is what your half-assness is like. This is what coming up with your own thing is like. Your good reason is like. Ooh. If somebody was to accuse you of this, you'd be like, never. Never, Lord. Never. Not since I was a youth has any unclean thing come unto me. Come unto my mouth. But you see, in the right context, in the right circumstances, this becomes you. What it say? Death becomes you. So I ain't no diviner. I ain't no witch. But in your disobedience to instruction, oh, it becomes you. It becomes you. Oh, I follow instruction. I did what you said. But when you didn't do what I said, like I said, completely like I said, oh, the stubbornness. What? You become worse than an idolater. You become worse than one. And this is what you don't want to talk about. And told y'all for this lesson because we think of things small. And that's what Saul thought.
Man, it's smart. I killed most of the animals. I just killed the good ones. I mean, come on, man. I didn't went to war. I didn't kill these people. Okay, I didn't kill the men, the women, and the children. Only thing I killed was the king and the good animals, and the good animals I'm gonna sacrifice to you. What's the problem? Huh? I know I call myself keeping your feast. I didn't go where you told me to go. I didn't do what you told me to do. And to be honest with you, real, I probably didn't have it at the time you told me to have it. But I did it in your name. I don't get what the problem is. What we talking about? What you mad for? What you mad for, God? Lord? Yeah, that's when you use the real words. God, Lord, what you mad for? Yeah, God ain't Lord. They ain't gonna be mad. But the Aleph, Elu, Yahuwah, Yahweh, Yahusha. Oh man, the the Adonai. Oh man, listen, he's gonna have what is it? You tell him I'm coming, and hell's coming with me. It's gonna be bad for you. It's gonna be bad for you. And this is what you gotta understand. You gotta put a difference between the Kadash and the profane. But anyway, because you have rejected the word of the master, he has also rejected you from being king. Ooh, consequences. Consequences I don't like. Oh, that's it. That's the stuff I don't like. Oh, I can't be king no more. Then we get some understanding. Then we get some accountability in them. Saul said to Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the master and your words. Because I see good reasoning. Now the truth come out. If he would have came, it don't say this, but I would like to believe. If he would have came repentant, if he would have been sorry for real from the beginning, and came to came to Samuel, like, oh, I'm sorry, please pray to the master to forgive me. I did this because I was fearful. I repent. Let me know what I need to do. I'm gonna go straighten it out. Let me know what I need to do. I'm gonna go straighten it out. That ain't how he came. He came, may the Lord bless you. And I followed his instructions. I did what he told me to do. Rob, you ain't even telling the truth. Even in your lies, you put some truth in there because he kept saying the people killed, the people killed. But even then, you shifting the blame. And this is what, as a ruler, as a leader, as a husband, as a father, as an olive, you can't keep putting the ball in other people's court. Any ruler, even as a mother, you are a ruler over your children. You can't keep putting the ball in other people's court and say, this why it ain't right. It's cause of them. Well, what did you do? Okay, what did you do? And this is the thing about Saul. Now, the true and honest of the matter, he feared the people. And that's the true thing that he didn't want to reveal. He wanted to hide the vulnerability and the root of the sin. The root of the sin was fear of the people. But he should have went to his father for strength. He didn't go to his father for strength. He wanted to be half-ass with the instructions that his father gave. He wanted to please the father and please the people. He's not future. He ain't got him. He can't do it at the same damn time. Okay, it just don't work like that. Can't please the people and the father at the same time. You can't. Not unless the people got the same pleasure as the father. That's the only time you can do it. If they ain't got the same pleasure as the father, you're supposed to pick the father first, right? Saul said to Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the master and your words, because I have feared the people and obeyed their voice. Now, therefore, I pray, pardon my sin and return with me, so that I may worship the master. Now I want to do right. Now I want to worship. Listen, hold my hand in prayer. No, nigga. This ain't how it go. You didn't cross the point of no return because of your lack of repentance. Hmm? Because of your lack of brokenness and sorrowness of heart behind your action. Samuel said to Saul, I will not return with you, for you have rejected the word of the master. You still don't even in your repentance, you really don't get it. You really don't get the fact. Because you're still talking about other stuff. You're still talking about the people. Okay. In your mind, you still reasoning why it's okay. The book of Enoch say, and other books, okay, Apocalypse of Paul, Apocalypse of Peter. If you don't know about these books, Google them. They're out there for your reading pleasures. But they speak about judgment in quote unquote heaven and how the Most High is still looking for people to repent and giving them room for repentance, even in that. And it said they still be like, "No, I didn't really. Nah, it wasn't really that bad like that. Nah, I ain't really, I ain't really do all that." Still, even in death, even after you didn't die, he looking for you to still repent, and the people still won't repent, even in death. This thing is deep, and this is what's happening with Saul. But Samuel ain't taking no parts in that thing. Okay, I will not return with you, for you have rejected the word of the master, and the master has rejected you from being king over Israel. And Samuel turned to go away, and Saul caught hold of the hem of his robe, and it tore. This ain't the first time. No, it happened again with King Solomon. He did the same thing. And I was gonna say he did it to Saul. He didn't do it to Saul. He did it to the prophet Nathan. Did it to Nathan, I think it was. And Samuel said to him, "The Lord has torn the kingdom of Israel from you this day, and has given it to a neighbor of yours, who is better than you." Todayah, Todayah. As we know, that neighbor was King David, and follows after this Saul being plagued with spirits and demons and all this, and David have to come and play the harp for him and all that other stuff. But anyway, moving along, go to Hosea chapter 6. For those of you joining us or came in late or whatever, we're an hour and a half in this thing. We are talking about obedience slash mercy is better than sacrifice. So we're gonna slide on down because I got different instances that's speaking about obedience and sacrifice. of of the issues when these instances are brought up. This was a context of obedience and sacrifice. Now we're about to get into mercy. Mercy. And let's start off. Let's go to Yahoo Shaka. This is what a lot of people know of. A lot of people that's not really familiar with the Old Testament like that, and they only know new for real. So let's get into something with them. Let's see what you got. Let's start with quote unquote Jesus. This is the book of Matthew, Matthew chapter 9. We're going to scroll down for time's sake. I know my brethren like to start at 1 and read on down, read the whole thing for sheer context. But we're going to skip along here. We're going to start at 11. When the Pharisees saw this, they said to his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" But when he heard this, he said, "Those who are well have no need of a physician, but those who are sick. Go and learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. For I have come to call not the righteous, but sinners." So, these or whatever. Apparently, he was moving around with a crowd of people. Think about how people would congregate and hang out in groups, kind of like how today you have like parking lot pimping. You got hanging out on the front porch. You got hanging out on the stoop. You got hanging out by the corner store. You got all these different instances where our people gather and communicate. We laugh, we joke, we teach, we do different things at the barber shop, at the hair salon. You got all these gathering places. And I also believe things for a reason because we've been on this. Okay, we've been on it, and this is what was happening at that time. They had moving gathering places. So when he moving, everybody gonna get up and go because people wouldn't necessarily headed to jobs. Or people like, I can't hang out. I gotta go and be here. Is this? No, they got time. Okay, they got all the time in the world. Okay, just like you got the get high houses and all that. People go over there, they get high, they play the game, they gamble, all this stuff, and they do it all day because ain't nobody got no job. This is kind of similar circumstances without the similar activity. It's just a gathering place that everybody come to frequently because they got time. Okay. But when one would get up to leave, everybody get up and leave. Everybody don't get up and leave to get high house at the same time. Okay. They usually leave in increments. But if the main dude said, I'm finna walk down the street to the store, everybody get up and walk down the street to the store. This is what happened with you. Okay. But when he heard this, okay, so anyway, he told him, uh, they want to know, why are you eating with the tax collectors and the sinners? So these Pharisees are kind of like a Saul. They're doing key parts of the law, right? They do the studying, they do the sacrificing, they do many ordinances, but certain facets of the law that they ain't keeping, just like Saul. Part of the law is mercy. Okay? A certain mercy, a certain leniency that's supposed to be shown. And this the part they feel like, no, that ain't really it, you know. And this is what Yahushua is coming to point out to them. Go find out about this. Okay, I know you wanna, I know you Pharisees and y'all be doing all this big major stuff. But it's some little small stuff that you feel is small. You feel it's small. It's really not small. It's really very, very important. But you don't do this. Say, go study this. So let's find out. Because everything in the new Comes from the old. Let's go look in the old and see where this comes from. One of the places it comes from, brethren, is Hosea. Hosea chapter 6. So let's read Hosea chapter 6 and see exactly what it's talking about. Come, let us return to the master. For it is he who has torn, and he will heal us. He has struck down, he will bind us up. After 2 days, he will revive us. On the third day, he will rise us up. Hey, man, listen. I didn't even know this was in here. But this is deep. This is very, very deep. Because you've got the Messiah, the Mashiach, quoting something that's very, very important. Granted, the point he's hearkening on at the particular time really ain't got nothing to do with this, but it's very, very deep because he got struck down. He got healed. He got rose up on the third day. Definitely got rose up on the third day, and let us return to the master, for it is he who has torn, and he will heal us. He has struck down, he will bind us up. After 2 days, he will revive us. On the third day, he will raise us up, that we may live before him. Let us know, let us press on to know the master. His appearing is as sure as the dawn. He will come to us like the showers, like the spring rains that water the earth. You know, well, I guess this is after the ascension. And I've always said this. I wasn't even meaning to go here. I'm just looking at the obedience and the mercy part. I wasn't looking to go here. I wasn't looking for a prophecy about the Messiah. I'm looking for obedience mercy better than sacrifice. But I get slapped with this stuff all the time. Mid lesson, slap me with it. So I gotta point it out. So I'm gonna point it out to you. I've said, for those of you that watch my videos, the past several videos, and I end up getting into this stuff because I get hit with this stuff in the middle of the thing. Every time it's talking about the Messiah in the Old Testament, when it's prophesying about him, talking about being raised in 3 days, all this stuff, the Messiah, okay? It immediately talk about Southern Kingdom. I don't know what it is. I mean, I know what it is, but I want you to get it. It's directly correlated to the man. That's why I'd always talk about it when it's time to talk about him. What's Northern Kingdom, you say? Ephraim, Samaria. What is that? Let us know. Let us press on to know the master. His appearing is as sure as the dawn. He will come to us like the showers, like the spring rains that water the earth. What shall I do with you, O Ephraim? What shall I do with you, O Yehuda? Your love is like a morning cloud, like the dew that goes away early. Therefore, I have hewn them by the prophets. I have killed them by the words of my mouth, and my judgment goes forth as the light. This is the destruction that's going to be that came upon them by the time of this Messiah. Okay? For context. Judgment then came on them folks. The Assyrians and took them off, did them dirty. Babylonians did them dirty. Greeks did them dirty. Romans was doing them dirty up until the time of the Messiah, and went on to do them dirty up afterwards. Okay? I have killed them by the words of my mouth, and my judgment goes forth as the light. For I desire steadfast love and not sacrifice. See, this is what this love is obedience. That's why I say, why do you say you love me and don't do what I say? He instructed Northern Kingdom to do certain things and they didn't do it. He instructed Southern Kingdom to do things and they didn't do it. Now, granted, they didn't just not do any of it. They did some of it. But the problem is that they didn't do all of it. That's why he said steadfast. Okay? Complete. All of it. He told Northern Kingdom, hey, you in Northern Kingdom, you got a king. 3 times a year, you still come to Jerusalem. I said, no, we don't go to Jerusalem. We gonna stay in Bethel. No, I didn't tell you to stay in Bethel. I told you go to Jerusalem. So now I gotta pronounce judgment on you. And this is the thing about it. We doing this today. Still. Never told you to have feast nowhere else. Jerusalem. 3 times a year. We can't go to Jerusalem 3 times a year. Guess what? No feast. You in exile. You gotta be like Abraham. I'm gonna dwell in the land he promised me in the afterlife. Okay, in the next life. I ain't gonna get to do it now. Sorry. But I'm still gonna be obedient every day. Everything he promised me, the land flowing with milk and honey, all this other, we're gonna do that later. But until the end, I'm gonna still be obedient. Why I'm gonna be obedient? For my seed after me to find Barakah in the Father. And I'm gonna rest in peace knowing my seed and found the Barakah in the Abba, and that my seed is obedient as I was. That's what he said about Abraham. For I know him, for he will command his house concerning me. So the obedience of Abraham carried over into the Barakah, or the quote unquote blessings of Isaac, his son. And it continued on. But anyway, for I desire steadfast love and not sacrifice, the knowledge of the Father rather than burnt offerings. What does the knowledge mean? The knowledge of him. You got to know him. You got to know what he stand for and what he don't, what he with and what he ain't. And that's your problem. You don't know him. You know of him. You can know of somebody. Hey man, I heard about you, man. You the greatest. You the greatest basketball player in the world. But you don't know. I hate it when niggas wear purple. I hate it when niggas wear purple. So when you come meet me, you ain't gonna believe what you got on. You got on a whole damn purple suit. But in your mind, you love me. You heard about me being the greatest basketball player. You've been watching me on TV. You got pictures of me on your wall. You love me. But when you come greet me, you draped in purple. You know why you draped in purple? Because you don't know me. You don't know I don't like niggas in purple. You ain't gave a damn enough to find out. But your profession is that you love me. If you love me, you'd know me. You'd invest time and effort into learning about me. What's his likes and his dislikes? So you ain't gonna believe what he gave you so that you ain't got this excuse. He gave you a book about it. He gave you the quote unquote Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, so that you can be guided into the understanding of the knowledge of him. It ain't my fault. It ain't his fault. Christianity. And I wouldn't say his fault. I would like to think, from my understanding of him, that he would put a thing like a Christianity out there because it's a filter of the good and the bad. Christianity as a whole, it's the religion of Saul. It's the but I did it with a good heart. I did it with well wishes. I meant well. I did a lot of what you talking about. It didn't go well for Saul. That argument, that mindset, Saul ended up in a real bad way. And this is what the religion of Christianity, of a lot of different religions, of a lot of different mindsets, if it becomes contrary, then it just is what it is. Not that there isn't knowledge and everything. I think it's knowledge everywhere. You know, not that any should really be necessarily turned away unless it's completely contrary, right? In these things, we should look for, we should compare and contrast, you know, and if we compare, we'll come into a greater knowledge of who the creator is. And so anyway, for I desire steadfast love, not sacrifice, the knowledge of Yah rather than burnt off. But at Adam, they transgressed the covenant. There they built faithlessly with me. Uh, this is the Tower of Babel, I believe he's speaking of here. So this is telling you Adam was in the covenant. Hmm? There they built faithlessly with me. Gilead is a city of evildoers tracked with blood, as robbers lie in wait for someone. So the priests are banded together. They murder on the road to Shechem. They commit a monstrous crime. In the house of Israel, I have seen a horrible thing. Ephraim's whoredom is there. Israel is defiled. For you also, O Yehuda, a harvest is appointed, when I would restore the fortunes of my people. So this love in this instance is about continuously keeping his instruction. That's what we have to compare and contrast with Saul's story about not being consistent with his instructions. And this is what he's trying to, this is what the Messiah in Matthew chapter 9 is trying to get the Pharisees to look at, because they're looking at, man, he hanging with sinners and taxpayers. They should be looking at the facets in the law that's speaking about conversion, that's speaking about kindness and compassion being shown to your brothers, and trying to get them from any wrong way onto a right way. You know, and that's what they aren't getting. That's what they aren't seeing when they see him. They're seeing, oh man, dude tripping, man, buddy tripping. And that's what people not getting when they look at me and my brother. They don't look at our histories among them. Prior to us not keeping Saturday Shabbat, that's really when it started. When we stopped keeping Saturday Shabbat and went to Lunar Solar, a lot of people turned. A lot of people turned their back. A lot of people distanced themselves and all this whole kind of stuff. We was the brother of brothers to them. We was the cool. We was the, oh man, it's a good brother, man. Love that brother, man. Them brothers, man. Them brothers, man. K and Brandon, man. Them brothers, man. They cool, man. Soon as niggas start going against or seeing a different way than what people believe in, immediately went bad. Immediately went bad. Off the rizzle. They don't consider and say, you know, kindness, compassion. You know what? Let me go reason with the brothers. Let me go inquire. Some did come. Some did come and inquire. And shout out to them brothers that came and wanted to get an understanding of why this and why that. You know what happened when they came? No. They got hit. Because we ain't came to what we came to by no small instance. We came to what we came to for reasons. And we hit folks with this. And we battled. We banged swords with people about this. And they had to consider. And you know what they really had to consider? It wasn't us. It was about, are you willing to make the changes that it takes to follow this thing? And a lot of them dudes weren't willing to make them changes. So you know what? It's better to be like, man, them dudes tripping, man. You know, them dudes tripping. Especially when it comes to the Shabbat. Feast days is easy. You know, on the feast days, they want to get all on the spiritual. You know what I'm saying? They want to get all on the spiritual, you know, love and affection for the Most High is why I do what I do. You know, it ain't all about the carnal, you know, feasts and priests and temples and all. It's just about gathering together with your brethren in love and affection. Ha! Ha! Yeah. But when it comes to that Shabbat day, ooh-wee, ooh-wee, the lunar solar Shabbat, lunar solar Shabbat. Hey, man, listen. You gotta make some changes behind that thing. He said, no work? You shall do no servile labor for money? Tuesday? And then Wednesday? And then Friday? my job won't let me do that. You ain't gonna believe it. You gotta get that job up. But what job I'm gonna get? How I'm gonna feed my family? How I'm gonna do this? How I'm gonna do that? Ooh, you ain't gonna believe what you gotta have. You gotta have some quote unquote faith. You gotta have some amunah. Huh? You gotta go through the fire. No, not my God. No, my God, see, brother Brandon, see, we don't. And this is what we be going through. So the kindness and compassion don't come in when it need to come in. The steadfast love don't come in where it need to come in. Not only to the Father, but to his servants. Because why we do what we do? Why we say what we say? Not because we trying to bring people unto us. And no, we just want to be obedient sons. If he show us this Saturday, we own it. If he show us to keep the feast, we own it. We obedient sons. We the zealous ones. What is that? Simeon and Levi slew a city. You know, they slew a city, boy. They believe in that thing and they real with it. The day I found out about the lunar solar Shabbat, I was headed to work. Nigga, I didn't go. Same day. When it got confirmed to me about the feast, you think I kept it? You think I kept another one? Same day. Some of you got reasons. You like Saul. You got reasons why you gonna do something that you ain't got no business doing. Anyway, not to condemn nobody. I'm just telling you, let's work on things. Let's be more zealous in things, right? Because whatever knowledge I came to, there was a period of time where I didn't have it. There was a period of time when I was in active transgression. Told out y'all for revelation. Told out y'all for repentance. And they said, I pray that when you fall and are fully converted, that you turn and lift your brothers. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. So I bring it to you. I give it to you. Now, granted, them don't be my lessons. Hey, this is about obedience and sacrifice. This ain't about when is the Sabbath. This ain't about should you keep feast days. We specifically made the feast day thing because of the backlash. People was talking. You was talking crazy about the brethren. So we had to make a statement, you know, exclusively, but that's not the whole of this because I'm gonna tell you something. You understanding feast days, you understanding the Sabbath is fruit of all the other things you do or don't understand already. We had certain principles we understand about what love is. What love is keeping my instructions. What I say do, do. What I say don't do, don't do. That's love. You don't understand that. It don't do us no good to talk to you about keeping no damn feast day, no Sabbath. You ain't gonna do it no way. Because you got reasons for why you can't. You got reasons for why you ain't. So we try to focus now on, well, you know, a lot of people that been grieved completely out of giving any kind of lesson. If it weren't for my family and us being separated for real, you might not be getting this lesson. I don't know if it's the algorithm or what, but it's not a lot of views coming in, and even the views that come in, it ain't a lot of likes, it ain't a lot of appreciation for stuff. I don't know if they like keep y'all from seeing stuff or whatever, but people get tired of that. When you see appreciation for just nothingness. I post something about something that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. It's all kind of likes and views and stuff about nothing. But I tell you something about this, about life and life more abundantly, is crickets. You know what I'm saying? I post something about some working out, doing some push-ups. Everybody love it. I talk about the bread of life, and hey, ain't nobody trying to hear about all that, man. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, cool. I ain't gonna worry about it. But all praise to the Most High, y'all. I guess it'd be certain times and certain words and certain things to come out at certain times, and that's how I'm here. I'm here to get it to you. I don't know what he be wanting to talk about. I don't know what he be wanting to do. But it be times I be meaning to do a lesson and meaning to bring stuff out, and I don't bring it out. Not that I just don't. The circumstances happen in such a way that it just don't happen. I don't know if it's impossible to happen or what. I just know it don't. And there's certain times where I really could care less if I bring a lesson out or not. And circumstances happen that it come out. So I just got to take it as like divine intervention and say, it is what it is, right? So anyway, to those of you guided to this, for those of you listening, for those of you, whether it be nice to know that it's for a reason. Because I've been analyzing the messages you're going to get from me, that you're going to get from my brother. Even our messages differ in a lot of ways. A lot of ways, I'm going to be honest with you. But you're just not gonna find it, right? And to each his own. You know, we like to believe. I like to believe that I'm giving you what I would want for myself, that I would want for my family, and all the things I would want for them is in truth of the scripture, in truth of love. Anything outside of that is hypocrisy, it's deceit, it's malice. To teach things that's not founded in this book or in truth is not good. It's evil, right? So, like I said about being obedient sons and being children of the Father, It's the basis for everything, man. I done built my life off this. You know how different my life would be if that was my mindset? To truly love, to truly ahab the Father. You know how different? I wouldn't give a damn about making y'all no video about nothing. I'd be somewhere on damn OnlyFans trying to get a check. Okay? Talking about out here. I'd be listen, OnlyFans, dope, scamming, just out here with all the craziness. Okay? Because when it's about carnality, let's do it. Okay? Let's do it. Let's do it big. About the spirit, if it's about truth, then my mindset is let's do that as well. So that's the thing about it, man. Um, this is a good lesson for me too, because you gotta analyze and see like what's what's his true instruction, and have we kept it, or have we mixed and blended, have we done things our own way, have we had reasonings to not do a thing that we're supposed to do, or to do a thing that we weren't supposed to do, right? And we always have to consider, that's been my whole thing ever since I've been coming before you, from video number one to now. We probably got over 600-700 videos that's been put out, you know, between all the different platforms, probably about 600-700. uh and it's all been for the same reasons, man. For truth, for edification, for life, not death, for prosperity, not, you know, failure, not depreciation, but appreciation. So anyway, I don't know how we got here. But where we at? Hosea 6. I just read this. Okay. Um that verse in Matthew 9 came from two places. It came from Hosea 6 and also came from Micah 6. So let's travel on down to Micah 6. Let's read Micah 6. See what it's talking about. This will be the last one. We can close out after this. Because your brother is just the longest of the long winds. Okay? And it's just a thing. You know what I'm saying? Let me build. As they say, let me land. You know what I'm saying? Let me fly and let me land. Don't crash me out. Hear the word of the master. Hear what the master says. Rise, plead your case before the mountains, and let the hills hear your voice. Hear you, mountains, the controversy of the master, and you enduring foundations of the earth, or the rocks. For the master has a controversy with his people, and he will contend with Israel. Why are we talking about this? What are we talking about? Most High got a problem with his people. And let's find out what his problem is. Oh, my people, what have I done to you? In what have I wearied you? Answer me, for I brought you up from the land of Egypt. That's also a way of saying I freed you from out of bondage and captivity, slavery, and redeemed you from the house of, well, he goes on to literally tell you, and redeemed you from the house of slavery. And I sent before you Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. O my people, remember now what King Balak of Moab, see, this is what I like about the Most High. He pays the cost to be the boss. Why do I deserve worship? Why do I deserve admiration? Why do I deserve respect? Why do I deserve to have my commands followed? Because I pay the cost to be the boss. In what ways have I paid the cost to be the boss? Let's see. I brought you up out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you from the house of slavery. And I sent before you Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. Okay. Oh, my people, remember now what King Balak of Moab devised? What Balaam, son of Beor, answered him. And what happened to Shittim? What happened from Shittim to Gilgal? That you may know the saving acts of the master. Go pull my resume. Go back to the Chronicle. Go back to, you know, we just talking about specifically with you. Okay? We can go back to the first book. We go back to Genesis. I tell you what I did with Adam. I tell you what I did with Noah and all that. But we don't even have to go by that. You know, they ain't gotta go all the way back there. That's what I did with you as a people. The cost I paid to be your boss. With what shall I come before the master? Now, this is the prophet saying a piece of what the master told him to tell the people. So now we have the prophet saying, or metaphorically saying, even in himself, questioning himself, with what shall I come before the master and bow myself before the mighty one on high? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves a year old? So the prophet is playing the part of the people and saying, is this what this great power wants? It starts off with, the master got a problem with y'all. The master said, think about this, think about that, think about all the things I've done for you. Now he's saying, what should me as a people, how should I please this power? Should I please this power by bringing them calves and burnt offerings? Is that really what he like? He done told me to do stuff. Part of the stuff he told me to do was to bring him these calves, these offerings. He did tell me to bring them. He did. He did. He told me to bring them. Told me to bring them in a certain way, at a certain age, certain time, certain ways, and all this old stuff. It's instructions to go with this thing. Said, shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves a year old? Will the master be pleased with thousands of rams, with 10,000s of rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression? The fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? What can I give him to make him happy? What can I give him to make him happy? What do he want from me? You know what's crazy? It's just like with a lot of women too, though. Not necessarily my wife, right? But a lot of women I've seen on social media. This is their mindset of, what does a man want? Dang. But when a man actually tells them what they want, the women be like, but you don't really want that, though. And be like, I don't want you to wear wigs. I don't want you to wear eyelashes. But you like other girls that wear them. And you ask me what I want from you. From you, though. And I told you. And you want to talk about something else after I tell you what I want. Be like, oh, I did this for you. I did that for you. Be like, but I asked you to do this and to do that, or to do that and do this. Like this. But I took time out of my day and I did everything you want. See, this is the thing. You ask these questions, but the answer ain't. You would rather give thousands of rams. You would rather give thousands of rivers of oil. You would rather give your firstborn for your transgression. You know why? Because that's what you think is the big grand thing. No, I'm not asking for big and grand. I'm asking for specific things. And it's not even grievous. It's really light. But to you, it's grievous. Because you really don't want to do nothing. You feel like somebody when you do the big and the bad. Feel like somebody with the fringes. You feel like somebody with the feast days. Just being a good man and a good woman, a good honest man and a good honest woman. What? Just like the prophet, when the man had the leprosy, he said, man, heal me. What you want me to do to be healed? Man said, go into Jordan and dip yourself. Man said, in the Jordan? The Jordan is filthy. Toilet water. I said, we got beautiful springs and waterfalls and just majestic bodies of water over here. You don't want me to go over there and do it? You want me to go to the Jordan? That's what's wrong with you. The simplicity of instruction is just, what? That's it? That can't be what you want. And that's what women do a lot of time. That's why we got to be weary of the spirit of whoredom, the whorish spirit. The whorish spirit follow instruction. It's one that want to do it its own way. That's why many women got this, because that's the whorish woman. You got to be careful, righteous women, of having whorish characteristics. It ain't about you sleeping with men. It's about you running from order and running from correction and running from instruction. Men and women can be whorish. It's found more frequently in women. That's why righteous women have to leave off from that and be a virtuous woman that's not involved in that. And men supposed to be of order and all of that from birth. But they leave off from their righteousness and come down, okay? They come down like Adam did. The instruction he was given in the garden, he came down from that to take on the characteristics of the woman. That's why the son, he ain't gonna believe where he came. He came down to take on the sins of the nation. He came down. He left off from his first estate. He came down to bear it. He didn't bear it to keep it. He bared it to free him. But anyway, it's a lot of meat on that bone, by the way. The simplicity of instruction becomes too much for the whorish mind. You can't. It's a let's keep the spirit of the feast. Paul said, let us purge ourselves from sin and transgression. What? That's the feast of unleavened bread? Purging yourself from sin? No, I want to have a party. No. Purge yourself from sin. I'm trying to have me a get together, man. I'm trying to post on Facebook about how we'd had 800 people come down here, and we having the feast of unleavened bread. About purge yourself from sin. I mean, we gonna try that, but we gonna have this party. I don't know what you're talking about. And that's what the simplicity of instruction is too much for the whore. Too much for the whore. You calling me a hoe? No, you fit the you fit the you fit the qualities. You fit the description of a whore. You know, whorish forehead. You don't believe it? The mark of the beast. It's upon their forehead, upon their right hand. It's in their thoughts and in their actions. Oh man, whorish forehead. Your actions are whorish. It's in your mind. It's in your actions. I don't want to talk about it. That was too much. Too much. Digress. Let's digress. Will the master be pleased with thousands of rams, with thousands of rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? He has told you, O mortal. What? You asking all these questions. He already told you what the business is. He has told you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the master require of you? But to do justice and to do love kindness and to walk humbly with your power. That's it. That's not it. First off, by the way, that's not it. There's a whole lot of more instructions in there. But it's consistent of these. Because these things come into play at different facets of life. That's why it's more to it. Do justice. When one of your homeboys robbed somebody, and it come a time where you can make it right. Do you make it right? Now, if it was two strangers, you would judge on the side of the one who got did wrong. But when it's your homeboy and it's your time to do justice, when it's your homeboy, what you gonna do then? Okay? Love and kindness. You can show love to your friend. What happened when it comes time to show love to your enemy? See, that's when it be like, what about the thousands of rams? You know what I'm saying? They say, when you see your enemy's ass in the ditch, you got to help them get it out. Your enemy, you don't like them, they don't like you, but you got to help them. Love and kindness. What you mean? Now, let me go and fight the Amalekites. You know what I'm saying? You want to fight the Amalekites? You want me to kill the women and children? I'll do that. Let me do that. You want to talk about helping my enemy's ass out the ditch? Man, come on, man. Get on about here, man. That ain't what you mean. That ain't what you want. Whorish mind. Whorish forehead. It's written all over your face. You don't have to say a word. Okay? And that's what it said. Saturday Shabbat. It's easy. It flow with the system. That's a little bit more to my liking. Because my job, we don't even work on Saturday. Okay? We ain't work on Saturday. That's easier than all this old other stuff and lunar, solar. All that. We ain't got time for all that. You know what I'm saying? It's deep, man. You get deep, it gets serious, right? He has told you, O mortal, what is good, and what does the master require. But to do justice and love kindness. You're supposed to love kindness. I kept saying loving kindness, but you're supposed to love kindness. This is what Hamashiach was trying to show, the kindness of dealing with these people that's looked at as being untouchable. These are people you don't deal with. These are people you don't. He eat with the sinners. You ain't gonna believe it. When I eat with them, that's when I'm gonna be able to talk to them. And that's when they go let their guard down. That's where they gonna be more comfortable. Everybody will talk to them in the street. Everybody talk to them in the street. Because that's common. What ain't common is you that look so holy, act so holy. Y'all don't come eat with us. That's why we don't rock with y'all. Y'all want to sit at the cool kids table over there. Y'all don't want to come over here and eat with us. He said, you know what? Let me come down. Leave my first estate. Come down. Show some kindness. Show some justice. Show some ahaba or love to you on your level. And that be the thing about it, man. A lot of you don't do that because you're too high and mighty. He said, go find out what this means. Look what he told him. What he said? Do your research. Do your research. He said, he said it again. I didn't bring this out earlier, but it's here. It's in Matthew chapter 12. We started off in chapter 9. But he told him again a couple chapters later. He told him again what he said. They want to know, is it lawful to cure on the Sabbath? Oh, no. Before that. They want to know, why is your servants eating with unwashed hands on the Sabbath? They got questions. Why wash their hands? They shouldn't be washing their hands. You know what I'm saying? They out here killing the Amalekites, killing the women and children. Huh? But when it comes to this little small thing right here, they want to keep some of the animals and feign themselves righteous. What he said? He entered the house of Yah and ate the bread of the presence, which it was not lawful for him or his companions to eat, but only for the priest. And now talking about Yahusha, quote unquote Jesus, right here, talking about King David. He's explaining to them how the law has a deeper meaning than what you might commonly think. Because common thinking tells you David shouldn't have been eating that bread. Him and his companions supposed to die. But are they supposed to die of hunger and the bread is there to feed them? See, you got to see the deeper meaning behind the meaning. Now, you shouldn't have access to bread and be eating this bread. But why should you perish and the bread remain? See, the love, the compassion. But only for the priest. Or have you not read in the law on the Sabbath, the priests in the temple break the Sabbath and yet are guiltless? You ain't supposed to do no servile work. You're not supposed to be bearing heavy burdens. Um, you're not supposed to even slay and kill animals on the Sabbath. The priests can. The priests do. They give offerings every day, even on the Sabbath. But that's their job. But it said they are guiltless in this. I tell you, something greater than the temple is here. But if you had known what this means, I desire mercy and not sacrifice, you would not have condemned the guiltless. You know, that's the thing about people making mountains out of molehills. That's what these Pharisees was doing with him, trying to catch him up in the law, condemning him for things that the law don't condemn him on in the context in which he's doing them. Like I said, the context in which he's doing them. Not specific breaking of a law. Washing your hands. I think the only people that's supposed to wash their hands, the only law given about washing hands is for the priest. And I think that's handling a sacrifice. I don't know if it's before or after, but it's cleanliness laws around the priest. They even have to change clothes. They have to have on certain garments when doing certain jobs. They have to wash their hands at certain points. I don't recall, it could be, but I don't recall any other place where a law was given about washing. Okay? The people made up these laws about you got to wash your hands before you eat, all this stuff. it wasn't a bad thing. It wasn't a bad thing to say. But if I'm hungry and I'm eating something in a rush because I'm hungry, because I'm tired, because I've been out laboring all day, it's some leeway. You talking about? Ain't no leeway in what the Most High was talking about, unless it contradicts other facets of the law. Letting David starve for this bread contradicts kindness and compassion. You know what you say? You know what you say? I know what you say. Maybe killing the Amalekites contradicts the kindness and compassion. Well, I would say to that, I believe the law about killing revolves around maliciousness and like a sneaking, uh, laying in wait. Whereas killing in war or killing in judgment is not a hiding and a sneaking. It's it's war. This is judgment. This is the consequence for said actions. It's more upfront. It's more in your face. It's not a sneaking. It's not a thing done in anger and in rage without complete consideration. Judgment in war is done in complete consideration when it's done rightly. Okay, it's considered, it's measured, it's looked at. This is what we gonna do. This is how we gonna do it. Boom. These people had committed so many different levels of offense and transgression that the judgment that was placed on them was right. It was rightly done. These people played a lot of games, and the time came where they got to win stupid prizes. And that's what it is. So all praise to the Most High, y'all. Hold on, let me see if that's it. Yeah, we're gonna leave it right there, man. There's a lot of meat on this bone.
That's
Mm,
cra- that's crazy that you had me backstage this whole time. I'm wondering why you're not hearing me. I keep unmuting and muting my phone. Like I'm like, why is he not hearing me?
yeah, and like in the background. I'm sorry, I didn't come off mic. I thought you could come off mic, but I didn't know. I'm sorry.
It's okay, babe. I was just trying to, join in with you and stuff
Well,
on
say
some of
what
the
you
things
wanted to
that you
say
had
then,
said.
ma'am. What you got for us?
Um, I said the one, but when you was talking about the priest and stuff, or you had made the reference about Yahusha coming down from his first estate, when it had talked about how Adam, well, you had made said Adam fell from his first estate by following after the woman, thing like that. Then you said Yahusha had came from down his estate to bear the sins of the people. Like, I think that correlation, first of all, was so beautiful. For one,
Hold on, yeah.
two, it's really okay. So two things. In a way, that that display of compassion, I guess compassion or whatever. Would it be safe to say that that's the level of, not like, never mind, never mind,
Go
because
ahead,
it's not,
let it out.
no, because it's not gonna come out. It's not gonna come out how I need it to, and I'm working on meaning what I say and saying what I mean.
Well,
The first,
just let it be known that you hunting for something, and give or take.
well, I mean, I guess in a sense, all in all, this was a lesson that needed to be retouched on, focused on, emphasizing the.
Muted up or something. I lost you for a second. I think the internet's having like glitches.
Yeah, because your voice was like gone in and out sometimes, and then the word wasn't matching your mouth sometimes. But it didn't happen a lot. It was only literally like a couple times, and it would only happen for like maybe 2-3 seconds or something.
Okay.
But this was a true blessing. I think I needed to hear it. Stressing the importance of obedience to the Most High rather than sacrificing. And a lot of times, like you said, in our everyday life, we still do those sacrifices over a thing when it's not even what the Most High is requiring. You know what I'm saying? Like, He tells us what He wants, and we make it harder to know. It's like He tells us what He wants, but then it's like, but we don't know what you want. Like, but it's like, I'm telling y'all, y'all just don't want to do what I want y'all to do, and you want to do what you
Mm.
want because it's not appeasable to you right now or whatever. And like even when you had said, how you gave the comparison between like how you deal with me and as far as like instructions, and you're absolutely right. Everything that you said, like, when you give me directions, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do it this way, and or I might leave out, I might miss a step or not do a step or whatever the case may be. It wasn't done in its fullness. And I think that it is important to follow out things exactly to the T, so that if it don't work out like you said, then you have to bear that yourself. But if if I don't, or if I do it, or if I don't do what you say, and it's on me. So,
All on you. There ain't no. It's all on whoever, right?
well, yeah, whoever is required to do that test that doesn't do
Yeah.
it. So, I think that's important. Like I was literally yesterday, I was plowing, you know, because just the different things that I've been seeing. I just be allowing that the Most High, like, if I was to ever be in a situation or the test or trial to come up where I would have to demonstrate this characteristic at that moment to allow me to do as I need to do in whatever situation. And, that's basically what, I've been plowing for. And I want to, being in its complete in its fullness, like, I think that's important to be able to partake in the promise or the
I wanna.
everlasting Malku.
I wanna touch on that, right? I feel like whatever that thing is, or like that time is, if it comes upon you, then you are capable of doing it. The thing about it is, are you willing to do it? And nine times out of 10, it's not going to be something that the average person would just readily hop off and do, readily, you know, not do, or whatever, right? But you, through the course of time, have been given certain things and shown certain things, and now it's like it's showtime. You know, it's like the bubble guts and the stage fright and all this stuff that people get when it's time to put all the practice and everything and put it to
Hmm.
work. You have to overcome that, and it's meant to be pressure. That's what puts a difference between you and everybody else. You know, there has to be something to say, these people they didn't make it. This person right here, they chose to do it. They had it. They had the talent, they had the heart, they had the drive, they had the, the foresight, whatever you want to call it. People make that journey or that thing, they make legends out of it. But at the end of the day, it's something small as just following through,
Enduring, persevering.
enduring. People come up with whatever, but that's not even for you to even worry about. Your thing is do whatever it is you're supposed to do, whatever it is you've trained to do. And like not doing that, it's really a failure. It's really something to be. Society has made not rising to the occasion
Mm.
so palatable and so cool. Like they make getting second place and getting participation trophies and all, like they make that a thing. So that
What's so crazy? I'm sorry, just because it's funny. There was an episode of Bluey that the because Bluey is the dog show or whatever. It was an episode on Bluey where the parents, like the other parents, were trying to like they wanted all the kids. They was playing like musical chairs at a party or whatever, and they wanted all the kids to win or whatever. So they would rap. They would do like musical chairs, but it was like with a present. So they would make sure like there was a present in every rap, so nobody would feel left out. And the one dead on the one dead dog, he was like, "That's crazy that you raising everybody to feel like they gotta have a prize or." Be this mediocre way. Y'all raising a bunch of wimps. But it was just so funny because it's really like, yeah, if you keep like, catering to everybody to make it seem like, or putting this false reality on people because of however it does nothing but hurt them in the end.
see, this how you know that mindset is contrary to the Most High. David said, "In the kingdom, the least of you is gonna be the best of what you know of today."
Mm,
You see how that strive for excellence, that shooting, that ceiling so high. Like I say, you shoot for the moon so you can fail amongst the stars. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
You go,
mhm,
the requirement is so high that what you think of as being hard, what you think of as being the best, is gonna be standard operating procedure.
mm,
But if you don't require nothing of nobody, you know, it won't be any production. And it's like this is what, and it's simple.
So
His
like,
whole his whole thing was obedience and expectation, or quote unquote faith. Because I'm being obedient, I can expect that whatever's mine, whatever's right, I could have. Damn lion and a bear is trying to take something of mine. I could go and get that back. Damn giant 12 feet tall is trying to come take something of mine. Because I've been obedient, because I love the Most High, because I know His word, I can expect to overcome that. This is going to be standard operating procedure in the kingdom. That's why He told the apostles, I'm talking about, you heard about all the stuff I've been doing and stuff? Yeah, it's cool. People like it's legend. He said, you're going to do greater stuff than this. You're gonna be better than what? Because you get to know once you start to believe, once you start to walk in the confidence, your expectation is going to be limitless. David
So
knew about what happened with a Abraham, what happened with a Jacob, what happened with that. He said, man, if I just trust like they trusted, if I just do what they do, man, ain't nothing I can't do.
mm,
We lose that. We got to seal it on our stuff. We got to seal it. So far as to say, if you should tell this mountain be cast into the sea, it'll go. Like you shouldn't have no limits on what you can do.
mm,
That ain't our mindset for real. We got limits. Ain't no way. Now we say, I say, if it be his will, that's the only limit. Is that he will it or he don't will it. You know. But if it be his will, can't nothing stop it.
mm.
Can't nothing stop it.
So that, yeah.
So that, yeah. Well, all praises to the Most High. Y'all, we 2 hours and 36 minutes in. In case you didn't know, let's get some of these going on real quick.
Little old man now, oh, little old man now, little old man now. I was under pressure, ministry never quits. I was trying to do better. July 2020 in the mountains of Tennessee with Hebrews from other hoods, showing true brotherhood. Now it's August 1st and we just finished this fire lesson. Down to the rivers to go receive a fire blessing. Riding to the waters in a set apart motorcade. I can feel a human like chill between my shoulder blades. Old man need to be deaded. Hebrews standing on the shore, reflecting on the wrongs I've done before. Confessing that Yahuwah is the power, Yahusha is the.
Hey man, it's about time for y'all to hit that like and that subscribe button. You've been around here soaking up all the game like a dry sponge in a wet puddle. You've been robbing your brother of his likes and his subscription. You don't want to comment. You don't want to hit the share button. You're selfish. You don't want to participate. Then you need to evacuate. Get on up out of here quick, fast, and in a hurry, because we don't need your kind. Now, for those of you that's going to do what's right, go ahead and get it then. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, comment, and sit back and relax. Let's get into these scripts. You dig?
Yeah, did. Anyway, that's what we got for you today, man. All praise to the Most High, y'all, the creator of the heavens and the earth, also known as the Shemaim and the Arats, and everything in them. Been his son, Mashiach, who the world knows as Jesus Christ. You know, it's 12 tribes, but it's one nation. Hallelujah.